How much nicer and clearer is this? Why was I living in the dark ages? I really like to punish myself. It is early on a Sunday, and I'm jet lagged, so I realized if I don't actually talk to myself about the things that matter, the things that bother me will continue to bother me. So it's time to get real. So now here's the problem is that I have a pain I'm holding in here. Every day I feel it. And I know what it's from. And then I don't talk about it, especially to you. Because the person who caused it is the only person who watches these fucking videos. Hi, how are you? Still love you, by the way. Um, so this is going to be weird because I have to talk to myself, and then, you know, I suppose I don't have to post it, but that's the whole point is to document what I'm going through. So fuck, here goes nothing, huh? Um, where do I start? The feeling of apprehension I have here, the feeling of like it's so interesting because being told darkness follows me by somebody, and then like I know I see that. That's why God sent me, so I can help. And then all that happens is that feeling gets shared. So this feeling that I have here, I know that this person had. And despite my best efforts, it's like that old trope: hurt people, hurt people. It's like the Jung says, it is not a healthy person that tortures. Generally, it's the tortured that torture. So I I use the analogy of like someone drowning and then drowning the lifeguard that comes to save them. Like that's generally what's happening. Now, in my head, I know all this. I know that there's nothing I can do to heal somebody. I know there's nothing I can do to help. Um, so my initial reaction was just, let's let this one go. Like, don't worry about this. But then I experienced so many synchronicities that I was like, okay, like God is telling me to be here. My subconscious mind, something is making it happen. And then there's a profound connection between me and this person. And I felt like this person represents everything I used to be before I went on my journey, before I started healing myself, before I started learning about who and what I am. So I gave it my best shot. And of course, as I expected, you can do everything right. You'll still be looked at like you're doing everything wrong. That's one. And then two, I know how projection works. So an unhealed person, if they feel if they feel unloved, unworthy, not good enough, whatever you name the thing, I won't say specifically, but um, they have that feeling, and then they'll project that onto you, so that everything that you've done and said, now I feel this way because you did this, even though the feeling came first. So now, with the best intentions, I'm paving the road to hell. So with my best intentions, I'm looked at like I am the devil, like I'm somehow the cause of the pain. And despite good intentions, despite my best efforts, despite everything, um, everything I've learned, I still failed. And it's not failure that's the problem. It's that, things hurt until you find the purpose in it. And I keep struggling to find the purpose because I go through mental gymnastics. It's like to explain what the purpose was if it's all for nothing, right? So trying to make sense of it, but you're trying to make sense of something while you're emotional. So it's pretty doomed. Another thing I noticed is that nobody had a worse opinion of me. When I went to Israel the second time, I brought a friend, a girlfriend with me. And she met this guy that I look up to, that I'm friends with professionally. And he told her that when he met me, it's like he met an angel. He said he told his wife, he said that it's like I was glowing. He said he's never met anybody like me. Like commending my character, my integrity, my heart. And then, my female friends that have been along with me on my journey and that I help and they help me. I had one person tell me that they're convinced that I'm really close to God. That like my soul came from super close to God. And, if you hear something like that, I suppose everybody wants to hear that. But I dismiss it. I don't identify with these things. It's like hard for me to take these types of compliments or any compliment, to be honest. But then the person that I love has like the shittiest opinion of me. You're a narcissist. You're this. You're that. And if you're not a psychopath, when you hear those things, you're like, okay, well, am I? And you try to self-analyze. Am I doing these things, or is this also projection? You think you're better than everybody, and I I know that's not me because I have the exact opposite problem. Um, I have had all my whole life is the exact opposite problem. Um, so that hurts, but it's just words, right? So like that's not causing, I guess, this feeling that I'm carrying. Like I'm on my way to my brother's gender reveal yesterday, and in my head, I'm replaying things over and over again that make me really upset. And then I keep seeing signs in the universe, like I'll see something that I need to change what and how I'm thinking about. Like this is a important day with family. I'm supposed to be present and happy and fun and in the moment, which you can't do. I have a hard time faking it. You can't do it unless you're doing it honestly. So I have to like do some sort of mental gymnastics to just delete the thoughts out of my head, to be like, okay, dismiss it. And what I told myself yesterday is that this person is an energy vampire, which is, I think, true, but not necessarily in a malicious way, in a way where anyone who seeks external validation, who seeks comfort in the external world, is trying to fill a void. And then no matter how much love you give that person, it will never feel like they're being loved because they don't know how to receive it. Which again, I knew, and from miles away, I would say, let's not fuck with this. This is dangerous. This, It's like, why would you walk into a tornado? Why? Who would do this? Now, conversely, at the same time, when I work with these guys, and randomly this young girl has been showing up to the office and just sitting around on her phone, and they're looking just to keep her busy, I guess. And before my trip, she tells me that um, she's there to be around her cousins so that she doesn't hurt herself or do something stupid, she said. And I guess she made an attempt on her life. And then, me having gone through profound sadness myself, like that's the purpose, right? Is so that you can help heal others, which is, I guess, what I was trying to do in my relationship as well. I started talking to her, and she lit up. It's the first time I saw her teeth. She's smiling. She was like excited, like, you have an answer for me? You know what this feels like? You got out of it? Like, how? Tell me. Like, she's desperate for an answer. And I was like, when I get back from my trip, we'll talk. Like, I'll send you some stuff. She texted me. I sent her. So I was like, Carl Jung and watch this video. And she's in therapy and she's just trying to find purpose in life and all this stuff. But, it reminded me that this is the purpose of life rather than make money and buy things and show off, is me talking to this lost person could save her life. But what else do I have to do? I gotta make it to the gym. Like, what an important thing to do. So I was talking to her and I was explaining the things that I've come to understand, which is everything is spiritual. So I was like, you know what? When you make your intention known that you're weak, that you're ready to exit, you'll be under spiritual attack. You'll hear a voice in your head that you think is yours. And it might have been with you your whole life. It might be something you inherited. But that's not your voice. They say in a lot of philosophy and spiritual practices that you are not the voice in your head, you're the observer of that voice, which is an important distinction to make, because once you start hearing how you talk to yourself, it's like, is this me? Who is this? So I told her, like, when you make it known, like, the devil has a plan for everybody, but you'll have like a full court press, basically. And that voice in your head, to me, that's a demon. To me, I don't know how to describe it otherwise. And I think that everyone has demons. At this point, I think that's just the way the world works. So everybody has a certain demon. If you're closeted homosexual, it's probably a demon. If you're homosexual anyways, just because, to me, animals don't have that compulsion. I mean, animals have the compulsion, but I mean, like, animals have the compulsion to reproduce. And when you have the compulsion to end your family line, there must be something going on spiritual. And then if you read any spiritual practice, they talk about, like, sexual carnal desires is like of the lower mind. So oftentimes someone who is traumatized a certain way gets a certain type of trauma and a certain type of unhealthy adaptation. I'm not saying homosexuality is unhealthy, I'm just saying in general, unhealthy adaptation. And to me, rather than explain it as this is a psychological thing that we can't explain. It's like you picked up a demon. For argument's sake, makes it much easier. A demon of gambling, a demon of abuse, because that explains why people that are tortured others. It's like someone who experiences it, you would think, would want to prevent other people from experiencing it. Like, you'd think Israel would be the world power in preventing suffering of any marginalized group. You'd think. Um, and yeah, I was talking to this young girl, and I'm thinking like, I'm trying to give her power. So it's like, don't give away your power. I've also learned myself, it isn't through Jesus or Muhammad or Buddha or whatever. Like, it's your own spiritual sovereignty that saves you. It's you that saves you. So, how do you get rid of a demon? Is you make your body unhospitable to demons. You raise your vibration, in other words. So, how do you do that? Is you don't put chemicals in your body. Caffeine is a chemical, sugar is a chemical. These aren't like being abroad and then coming back here. Like, you walk in a gas station, nothing in there is food. Nothing is even made out of food. It's all chemicals. And then your body is supposed to, which is a spiritual vessel, supposed to fight off disease and spiritual shit and all this. What choice? What chance do you have? So I explained to this girl that you basically, like, this is a normal part of life. This is supposed to happen. You're supposed to find your purpose now. And then when you find that, you'll never get, the way I describe it is when you find proof of God. I'll just give a direct example is when I broke up with an ex and I was really distraught, and I asked God for proof he existed. In a moment of desperation when I was confused and lost and didn't know what to do. So I asked God for proof he existed, and the clouds parted and a single beam of light came on my body. And then that was my first synchronicity. And here's the thing is that I got a direct answer. And I can decide, do I assume this was a coincidence or do I assume this is the answer? In my whole life, I went one way. Things like that would happen, and I'd be like, nah. And this time I decided to go the other way. My life got way, way worse after this. Way, way worse. I experienced things that I can't explain to this day. I don't have, unless you witnessed it through my eyes, you wouldn't believe it. And I never got as scared or as depressed, or it's like you still have, the knob can go happy and sad. It can never go so far as it used to, because I had the answer. Because I know that the universe is somehow working for me, even if I don't see it in the moment. So, of course, when I broke up with that ex, I thought I was going to marry this person, and I was distraught, not just because that ended, but because I realized I was being used and that it was fake and all this stuff. And the betrayal sent me spiraling. Like, how do you know what's real? And what I came to understand is, one, I always knew, I was gaslighting myself. And then two is that, like, they say God cuts people out of your life because he heard conversations you didn't hear. Now, I would argue subconsciously I could hear those conversations based on the character of the people. I knew what they were saying behind my back because I saw what they were willing to say in front of me. So I felt stupid and, abused and all this stuff, which at the time was awful. But the things that I learned from that have made me far more resilient and far more capable and brought me to my spiritual lessons and journey. Now, I've been reading this book, As a Man Thinketh, and it basically says what I believe, which is bad things aren't supposed to happen to us. Now, you can say bad things have happened to me and not have an excuse for it, but sometimes bad things happen, but it's just your perspective, right? So let's zoom out. I'm talking about like getting a ticket, losing work, those types of things. Bad things aren't supposed to happen. The Taoists say Wu Wei. So life is supposed to just flow in your favor. So I'm not supposed to go door to door selling. Money's supposed to come to me. And I'll know that I'm doing the right things in life if life is going that way. But it's because I took the advice in this book before I learned about it. Is basically you have to act in a way where how should I put this? You have to do everything right. And until you do everything right, you won't realize that you're doing things wrong to cause your own suffering. Now, I have struggled with why can't I help? Why, if I can see something is going to hurt someone and try to warn them and help them, why can't I? It's like I'm living in a different dimension and I'm a ghost screaming at someone trying to get them to hear me and they can't fucking hear me. It's so frustrating. And then what I've come to understand is that I'm interfering with someone's karma. And then what happens when you do that is you receive negative karma. So we are all responsible for our own karma. Everything in this universe is cause and effect. So until you do everything right, have you lived a day without cursing, without having a negative thought about someone, without gossiping, without putting poison in your body? Have you lived a single day your whole life doing everything right? I'd venture to guess there are very few adults in the entire world living today that could say yes to that. And it isn't until you do that that you can trace, oh, I was gossiping with that person. That's why I didn't get that job. I was judging that person. That's why my sale fell through. I was poisoning my body. That's why this happened. So, me explaining to this young girl, like, hey, make your body inhospitable to bad spirits, even if it's a metaphor. Even if it's a metaphor. Like, I really do think it's literal. I can't explain how the world functions if it's not literal. Like, it has to be a spiritual world. The people in power have to have, we fight not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places. I have no doubt. I mean, I see the symbols and shit. I know more than you do, but I know the secrets. It's out in the open. The rituals and the language and all this stuff is like you don't have to be a genius to see it. You can imagine if they're doing these types of weird rituals and practices for thousands of years, that it's for a reason. They go in the woods naked and burn an effigy and stuff like this. Like, you wouldn't do that unless there was a reason. It's not fun. I wouldn't think of, hey guys, instead of video games this weekend, let's go in rogues into the woods and burn stuff. Probably have gay sex. I don't know. I haven't been, but it made me feel good to have gay sex, to talk to this girl that needed help and her be receptive to it. Her to be like, and what she's been craving, what she doesn't get from therapy, is the spiritual stuff. Because that is why we go through the shit. So you can go to therapy and understand and get the tools and blah, blah, blah. But if you don't understand the purpose of anything, you'll never conquer anything. You'll just survive. Do you want to live or do you want to survive? Like it goes, it's an inward journey. Like it's not just philosophers, it's not just religious books. Like how did I figure it out? It's innate. It's supposed to happen. So um, I feel more fulfillment from talking to this girl who needs help and nudging her in the right direction and being like, you know, changing her perspective so that she can help herself. And then I understand why I failed, even though my intentions were good in my relationship, is that I can't interfere with someone's karma. It's another thing I learned in this time that I've been struggling now with the pain that I carry for that ending. I sat with my grandma yesterday and she's like, "Where's your girlfriend?" I'm like, "Shut the fuck up, bitch." Grandma, you're not gonna live to see me have kids. I'm sorry. um, and I think like my needs weren't getting met. I had someone in and out of my life break up with me the week of my birthday, and then would be physically present but not emotionally present. It's like this is it. This isn't life. This isn't. Things were going much better before this. Why am I subjecting myself to this? Why am I being punished? Because my intentions were good. My intentions were pure. I saw someone that needed love that I could love. And because they don't receive it, I become an enemy, and I of course like feel all the feelings that they have, and feel guilty and judged, and all the other things that relationships are mirrors. So it's like now I carry this heaviness that I haven't been able to exercise because I'm afraid to talk about it. But if I don't talk about it, it'll stay inside, and nothing gets solved that way. So, I was interfering with someone's karma. So all you can do is let go, unfortunately. But I for the past however many weeks, I feel like my connection to God is numb. Why can't I hear God now? Why am I not getting answers? Why am I not what's supposed to happen next? And then I feel kind of restless and I feel kind of lost when I was, I was fine before. And that's the purpose of journaling and like listening to my inner thoughts and my shadow and my subconscious. But I kept thinking, why isn't God telling me what I should do? Because the day we broke up, she was on a dating app. And my friend called me and told me, and I was, uh, you know, logically, I'm like, well, she's just hurt. She's just trying to find peace, and don't worry about it. This doesn't negate. She might have said, I love you. She might have been lying. Um, and then I wasn't thinking about dating at the time. This was the last thing in my mind because I was in love with this person. Why would I? I'd be doing the next person a disservice by not being present because I'm still not present. And then the spiraling started to happen. I started to seek comfort from the external world, like homegirl. So then I'm like, okay, well, if maybe I should date, maybe I should make myself available. This is obviously a dead end, anyways. So what am I waiting for? Someone to knock my door down and be like, hey, it's me. You're a soulmate. So I put myself out there. And every single person I look at, I'm like, no, 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 no. And it's not, I'm sure there are great women, but there was really a magnetic, profound connection with the last one. I was like, that's going to be a hard thing to recreate. And the problem is my hands are tied. Nothing I can do to go backwards because it's a dead end. I can't force someone to grow. I can't force someone to change. And it's not like, you know, it's not like I wanted her to be a different person. I wanted her to heal because the healed version of that person is my soulmate. The healed version of that person is everything I want, everything I've waited for. And it's fucking maddening to be so close and to see someone's potential. Be like, I was you. I know how to fix what you're feeling. Just do this. Just do that. But she's terrified of me. She's never trusted a man in her entire life. Why would you trust me? And it's frustrating to see everything that you want just like holding water in your hand, just used to be right here. And because either someone's not ready, someone is not ready, or hasn't fulfilled their karma, I have to suffer. I have to know that this person that was so close is out there suffering. And so close, I think, to their spiritual awakening and enlightenment and all this stuff. I really felt like, oh, you're on the cusp. It's about to happen. Because I can see that she's doing the things that the people around her do to silence that voice inside of their soul that's looking for purpose, that's looking for, self-discovery, and doing all the things that her friends or family or whatever do to numb themselves, and it's not working, or it's working less and less. So she's about to hit a wall. And I suppose unless she hits that wall, I have no place in her life because I will just be receiving pain. Hurt people. So I will be the manifestation of all of her triggers and of all her traumas and all of her fears. She'll externalize it and hate me. And then my natural reaction is to defend myself. I'm not a saint. I wish I could be like Jesus and just put my hands on someone's heart and heal them. If he did that. But then I take away someone's purpose. If someone had saved me in the middle of my dark night of the soul, gave me the answers, this is how to heal, this is why you went through it, this is blah, blah, blah. If I didn't actually go through it, I wouldn't be tempered. I wouldn't be able to find my center again. I wouldn't be resilient. So, in my empathy, I'm doing someone a disservice by trying to hold their hand through something they need to do alone. Because we all have to do it alone. This is the best I've felt in a long time just because I'm getting it out. I didn't even want to talk to my friends about this because I don't want people to have a bad opinion about someone I love. And then I don't want to journal about it and put it online because of the same reason. Because, yeah, my job is to protect them, not hurt them. But then I have swallowed the poison. And it's interesting. Now it makes sense. This virus I got, my lower chakra, my safety. It was a spiritual problem. And I tried to run from it. Like, I do like traveling. I do think that every year you're on the planet and you stay put and you just work or you're wasting your time. But I was trying to outrun my thoughts. I wanted to go somewhere peaceful and serene so that I could think and get away from this, but no matter where you go, there you are. So I had to, this is the way to do it. This is the way to do it. Now, I can't tell the future. I imagine that I didn't hear the last of this person. I think that every day she's probably suffering, unless she is a narcissist and made all this shit up. In my heart, I don't feel like it was the last time I'd hear from her. I'm not going to reach out, but just because you break up with someone doesn't mean you stop caring about them and their well-being and their, if you ever cared, you can't turn that off. But I know that just going back to someone who's where she is, then there will be two people suffering. And I already went through that. I already had a lifetime of it. I can't do it again. I thought I could shield myself from whatever. And for a while I was doing fine. But I guess you don't learn anything. You don't make a mistake. I hate this feeling. And I know there's a feeling that she has all the time. And I really wanted to fix it. But there's nothing I can do. Nothing I can do. What sucked is knowing someone's heart better than they know themselves. So, like, knowing what's being hidden from the world, knowing what is inside that she doesn't show anybody. It's like it's locked away behind so many layers of protection. And then you get glimpses of it here and there. And it would keep me holding on. And it would keep me, it, regardless of the abuse I was receiving, I was like at the end of the rainbow is a pot of gold. Like this, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Because what comes out of that person is a very special thing that I don't think exists in many people. And I believe she's smart enough to figure it out. I believe that she's on the spiritual path, even though she doesn't know it. And I believe there's a purpose in us meeting. It's like a hard thing to deal with on my own. It's like I have the insight that she doesn't have, and then I have to live in the world where I have this information and I keep it to myself and then deal with the pain alone. It's been incredibly frustrating. And it would be very easy if I could point my finger at someone and say, they're fucked up, they're an energy vampire, they're a narcissist, and like a clean shit where you don't have to wipe, just walk away. But I don't think any of those things are true. I think she's afraid. Afraid to show the world who she really is because she's hurt. And how could I possibly know that? Is because she's me. The most like me person I've ever been with. And there was like this deep knowing between us, even though we had nothing in common. We don't like the same music, we don't like the same, like her fashion sense pisses me off. Being at the forefront of fashion is such a waste of fucking time today. So first of all, you're constantly following. You want to always be like subservient to someone. If you're following fashion trends, you're always behind. Just do your own thing. I was explaining to the suicidal girl that this world is built, like it says, the devil's the god of this world, right? And then I've been studying Zoroastrianism, so it's Ahriman or Agramenu. It's the god of materialism. Materialism is a trap. Keep you stuck. And this world is built by these entities or these spirits, the spirit of negativity, evil, if you want to call it that. And that's why we're traumatized. That's why we're hurt. Because when you are hurt, you are a consumer. You consume food, fashion, cars, wallets, watches, purses. You consume to fill the void. But it's a spiritual void. It cannot be filled in the physical world. It's a statement of fact. The sooner you figure it out, the happier you'll be. You can argue with me all you want, to your detriment. That's the truth. It's a fact. Google it. If you look into it enough, there's no other answer. It's like a math equation. You don't get an opinion on what 2 plus 2 is. It's like this is a fact. You cannot fill it in the physical world. There is not a single case of that working. You have to keep filling it. So you have a cup with a hole in it. You fill it with friends and all this other bullshit, and then the reason it doesn't work or you need to keep doing it and you keep scrambling to fill it, that hole gets bigger and bigger. And then you keep thinking, I need more success. If only I had more money, I'd be happy. Happiness is always this carrot dangling in front of you where it's later. That's the trap. And eventually, the reason I know is I grabbed the fucking carrot. I was like, this is dog shit painted orange. This isn't real. When I grabbed it and I was like, ew. I didn't know any of the spiritual stuff. I just knew the path was a dead end. I knew that everything I was working for, I want to have the big house and I want to have 30 cars and I want to date a model and I want to, like, I've done all that stuff. Well, I was on my way. And then I was like, oh fuck, this isn't real. This isn't working. Like mid stride, it was like sprinting and then wandered aimlessly for a while till I found all the shit that's in here I came to on my own. This is a great book for people that don't know. He even talks about meditation. And he talks about how meditation is bullshit. Well, spiritual meditation. Like people, I'm going to concentrate on my pineal gland or not. It's like you're doing nothing. You're accomplishing nothing. You meditate on a task. So he said, like at a certain point, when you're good at something, you get in a meditative state. And then I was thinking how this relates to my job. It's like people will talk to you and you don't even hear them. It doesn't even register because you're in meditation towards a task, not towards nothing. So the people sitting there in a yoga pose and for hours a day, whatever, it's like this is fake spirituality. You need to have a purpose. And if you're not fucking doing anything with your life, buying things is the last thing you need to do. This poor fucking girl sitting at this office every day wanting to blow her brains out. No one's talking to her. No one's helping her. No one's saying, like, what do you need? She needs a job. She needs clothes. She needs a gym membership. She needs food. She eats once a day. How dare we buy so much extra when there's people right here that need basic human interaction? What are we doing? At a certain point of my spiritual awakening, I realized that my whole life I was just doing shit for myself. I want. I don't have enough. They have this and I don't, so I want that. For almost 40 fucking years doing that. And then I felt like I was guided to do something, which was the orphanage in Tanzania. It's like if I died without ever doing anything substantial for other people, my time on earth was a waste of time. And I don't know how other people don't feel that when they're buying shit. Not just shit, but shit made with like slave labor. Shit where they are, advertising child sex and shit. this is a profoundly fucked up world, and I hate being here. I hate being part of it. And it was like a hard thing to digest because you need, in order to be here, you need to have goals. You need to want stuff. If you don't want anything, the universe doesn't give you anything. Then you might as well go naked in the woods, go into the mountains and be whatever the fuck that is. But the sickness of it, for a long time, it made me repulsed and I couldn't participate in commerce. So I still like nice things. But there's a reason it says it's easier for a camel to pass through an eye of a needle than a rich man to go to heaven. It's where your heart is. It's where your values are. If you haven't gone on this journey, if you haven't figured it out, if you're trying to fill the void, you're spiritually weak. So, for like severely depressed people, it might help to motivate them if they want things. It might be a shortcut. Might be a shortcut out of it to be like, oh, don't you want to be successful? Like dumpy, depressed teenage men. Don't you want to get the hot girls and blah, blah, blah? Like you can convince these guys to chase the carrot and it will work probably until it doesn't. And it's for a select few that it doesn't. Those are the lucky ones. So despite how I feel shitty, I know that I'm lucky to have these lessons in this lifetime. To have relearned something my soul already knew. And I gotta tell you, like, it's very obvious now in retrospect how I was hurting myself, how I was doing things wrong. So I guarantee you I would not have gotten sick if I didn't go to that concert. Whether it happened on the way, whether it it's immaterial when I got this one specifically. But the fact that I was going, I made a spiritual choice that had a physical consequence. And every day, all day, you are making spiritual decisions that will have consequences in the physical world. And until you figure that the fuck out, you'll keep assuming you're a victim. You'll keep assuming that life is against you, that the universe is out to get you and you're not getting a fair shake and you're going to be frustrated and angry. You have no one to blame but yourself. So I never sat bleeding from my ass thinking, why did God do this to me? I'm like, how did I do this? All because I didn't want to have this conversation. I'm tired of being sad my whole fucking life. It's like I did it enough. I don't want to revisit this. I don't want to feel this way. But I am haunted by this person. That I love profoundly still. Like, it's not like I stopped loving her, but what can I do? What could I possibly do? No matter how much love I give, it won't be received. And I thought, okay, my subconsciously, is this me reliving my childhood? Am I just trying to fix my mother's emotions who I can't fix, but now in someone? This is where Freud and Jung split. It's not an animal thing, it's a spiritual thing. So, everything happens for a reason. So, I thought, like, oh, well, maybe losing me, she'll be so hurt and distraught that it sparks her consciousness, that she wakes up, that she changes something, that she, you know, I guess that was wishful thinking. I guess we'll see in time what the purpose of it was, like truly. But I gotta say, like, until, like, it's early in the morning, it's like, I'm jet lagged, but it's like the first thought that comes to my mind. It sucks loving someone who can't love you back. Someone in pain cannot. That's that other book talking about agape. Someone in pain is trying to mask their pain. You cannot do two things at the same time. So I don't want to live my life with glimpses of love and mostly suffering. I don't want to go to family events and people ask me, where is she? Oh, we're fighting right now. Oh, I liked her. Well, fuck her right now. But I can't keep making space for someone who doesn't want to grow. So I gave it everything I had. And you can do everything right and still be wrong. So what chance do you have? No matter what, you're wrong. She feared me so much that no matter what, I would always have been, and I called this right when we started dating, I would have always been, I will be the manifestation for fears. I will be the reason she's upset or angry. I'm just here trying to love you, bitch. It's fucking rude. I just wanted to love you. What the fuck? God. So annoying. And then yeah, no one in my life, like my enemies, show me more regard for my character and everything than the person I wanted to spend my life with. So like naturally, I'm like, okay, this is some unresolved trauma I have. Accept me. Give me the minimum, please. Can I have the minimum? Although I'll be here when you're done with fucking pottery class because you don't know what to do with your life. You fucking bitch. Oh god. I felt more alone during that relationship than I do alone. So I know, like, when it's time to cut and run. But I haven't given up on her. She's smart enough. when I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. Like it's our individual jobs to alchemize, to become enlightened. And searching for the right thing to say and do, and I never came off more clunky. Like some of the things that I say, like uh, there are people in my life who's like, the perfect thing to say. Like, we have this profound, just everything kind of flows. I never came off more clunky than in this relationship. I haven't been on a single date. And I actually haven't even had a real conversation with anyone. I knew I was lying to myself, thinking like, oh, that was done, that was a mistake. Move on. Um, so I guess I'm just in a holding pattern. We'll see what happens. I did match with this girl who everything she said on her profile was like, the first thing she said in all caps is, if you want a soulmate, you need to heal your soul. And then she said she studies philosophy. And then she said she's like, there's a spiritual side to me. And she's Persian. I was like, oh, yes, yes. I don't have any interest in talking to her. I don't know if I have a hang up or it's literally like I downloaded the app. The first person I was like, there's no fucking way I'll find something I like amongst all these lost people. Like, take me to sushi and call me pretty. Go fuck yourself. I don't care what your favorite color is. Bitch, are you healed? You're gonna take out your childhood on me? Don't waste my fucking time. Um, there's also so many single moms. It's not even just the age range, because younger women will date older men. Like that's I'm not in danger there. Um, but it's because these people get married and have kids when they only like, well, we both really like season one of CSI Miami, and it's like nothing. There's nothing drawing you two people together. The fuck? Why did you come in this lady and then leave? So many single moms. So my grandma was like, fucking hurry up. Get married, idiot. I'm like, I can't. I can't just do it. I don't want to suffer. I don't want to cause suffering to my unborn kids. I can't. I cannot. So it has to be someone individuated because the woman is the most important part of the equation. I could be the best father in the world. A woman's emotions will transfer to the children if she doesn't have impulse control. If she doesn't have emotional control, those kids will have that, period. Of course, there's an argument to say that they might need that. Builds character. But what the fuck happens if they don't start off with that? What could they do in this world? What could they be if they don't have this handicap that everybody spends their entire life getting over their fucking childhood or running from it? What is possible with humans? So I believe in karma, I believe in reincarnation, all this shit, right? What if there are pure souls that just can't incarnate because there are only negative karma people making babies? So in my past life, I must have been a dickhead because I didn't like how it started here. I'm still getting over it. So I wonder, is that how you make, like, if you go through the individuation process before having kids? It's not necessarily an age thing, but it's a maturity thing. Then you give birth to people that could change the world. They could fix this shit. Or become Caligula, I don't know. I don't imagine Caligula had great parents. And Marcus Aurelius, although he was accomplished in every measurable way, his son was a complete fuck up. So he obviously wasn't a great father. Or he didn't have the right mother. That was a great man. And even he couldn't overcome, like, moms, man, with the best intentions, fucking moms. And in this culture, in this society, where do you find like a healed woman? It produces profoundly sick ones. Like, the hot ones are crazy. They're all like, I'll be like swiping right, swiping left, but swiping, you know. And then I'll see, like, if there's an attractive girl as a man, like, you look for attraction, right? There just has to be a physical attraction. Otherwise, it doesn't matter how cool they are. You're not going to be interested. My dick is not going to do it. We can't have kids as friends. So I'll see, like, they post revealing pictures on their social media and stuff like that. It's like, hey, this is not the mother of my children. It's like, she should be like physically attractive, but it shouldn't be something that everybody sees. Like, it has to be something special. That's mine. You know? Because also, if she's looking for external validation, once we're in a relationship, she'll still look for it. I was dating this girl late last year who tried really hard to convince me that she's spiritual and she's the perfect match for me and all this shit. I'm like, you know, I've seen you at the gym. I see how you act. I saw how you treated your boyfriend. I saw how you acted while you're in a relationship. Like, different guys walking to your car while you're in a relationship. She's going on dates while she's got a boyfriend. I'm like, there's no fucking chance in hell, lady. And then I felt like I could learn something. And I did learn something. So I gave it a shot and just observed. And everywhere we went, she's looking for attention from everybody. There's never going to be enough attention from me that she's satiated. And I don't know who the fuck you think I am. Like, I need to pay for arm candy, but it's not happening. It's like, you're not hot enough for that, first of all. Secondly, it's like, you don't marry the stripper. It's like, she's for the streets. If you need attention from other men, go get it. Leave me the fuck alone. Go get it. Go. Zudbash. So, where do you find someone who isn't that? I guess that girl I matched with is promising. I don't really have the heart for it right now. At the very least, we'll have at least someone I'm gonna have fucking intellectual conversation with. Let's compare notes. I guess we'll see. I won't close myself off to it. 111, new beginnings.